Hi guys, today I want to make lavender oil with you. And of course you need lavender. I just cut mine yesterday. And we had a drought here for like 3 weeks now. So the lavender is dry. I want to show you that here is the lavender. It still has color, but the flowers are gone. The bees are not going in it anymore. And it's all dried out. But I don't want it to be dried out so that it's like this yellowish color, you know, like the hay, like what straw looks like. I don't want that. I just want the purplish color kind that has a wonderful flavor. Now, I suggest you don't do this out inside, because I did that last year and it was a horrible, overwhelming smell. Although lavender smells nice, you'll find out when you get the seeds off that it can be very overwhelming. So I suggest you do that outside. So I got my lavender on one side. I'm getting the seeds off, and I like, even if they're little parts still together, don't worry, you know, everything is going to go into one jar. You don't have to completely pick them all off there one by one, because they're kind of hard to get off. The best way to actually get them off is just kind of go in the opposite direction. And these are dried more than the other ones, probably last year's plant. They still smell though, and as you get these off you will smell an overwhelming smell, which is not all that good. So if you got that in the house, you're gonna get yourself a headache. I got that last year when I did it all inside, and I'm not going to make that same mistake twice. So that's the first thing you need to do, is get all your flowers off. And the way I do that is I'll just grab it at the beginning and then just shove these off, and then get those last ones off there too. Just get that part off, even if it's not, even if it's connected to each other. So these will be all loose, and that's together. You will need some jars, and you got to clean them before you sterilize them, and you need some boiling water in order to sterilize your jars. So my water is going, and I'm waiting for it to boil, and then we're going to put them jars in there, not all at once, but I think 2 at a time. Hopefully they fit. And they have to stay in there for about 15 minutes. And of course you have to make sure that your jar is completely submerged underwater. And now we wait for 15 minutes. Now this is going to be a bit tricky since I don't have pliers to pick them up. So I got my big glove. And we're going to let that dry. Next up, another 15 minutes. Until you got all the jars clean. I don't know exactly how many jars I need, but I'm just cleaning 4 jars. This is pretty full with lavender. I might have more lavender than I have oil actually. I got, oh yeah, what you need is Bertolli oil. What I'm using is virgin olive oil. Actually, I'm using Bertolli extra virgin, and that's the one that I used last time, and that works well for me. So that's the one I'm using. You can use any virgin olive oil, as long as it's virgin or extra virgin. Don't use anything that has a smell or herbs in there. And now I'm just going to put as much lavender in that cup as I possibly can. Little by little. I think I'll have to sit down with this so that I don't make a mess. Fill it up. Tap it down. Don't push it down. Tap it down and add more until no more lavender will fit in there. I pretty much reached the capacity of the lavender oil in there, or the lavender in there. And now I'm going to add my Bertolli. Put the lid on there for a second. Shake it. Add some more lavender. Lid again. Shake. Open up. And fill with oil to the top. Yeah, definitely need another bottle. I got more than I had last year. Shake. And you store that in a dark spot for at least 3 weeks. Turn it around now and then. The longer you let it in there, the more powerful your lavender oil will be. When you store your jars, don't forget to add a date on there so you know when 3 weeks have passed. And since I need more Bertolli olive oil, I'm storing in sterilized jars, dry now, so that later on I can add my Bertolli to that. Now this will give me lavender oil all year round. I already had that from last year's bunch, but you know we really ran out right now, and I got a little bit left. But yeah, this will be plenty for at least a year and a half, if not longer. Well, my lavender has been in over a month now, so I'm going to take it out. The longer you leave it, the better it is actually, but I'm out of lavender right now, so I need some more lavender. I got my jar that I filled up, and I got a little bowl with a pair of stockings that I cut off, and I put that around the bowl, and I'm going to carefully get my lavender oil into the middle of that. And you need some gloves too, because it's going to be icky. And do this outside or in the garage, because it's going to be a really big mess. I can already smell it, how powerful it is. And when you look inside, it looks almost dry, but it's not. It's very soaked. It's the oil has really soaked into that lavender. I'm just going to get all of that in there. Push that to the bottom. Be careful that you don't rip your stockings, of course. I'm just going to leave this upside down to let the last oil go to the lid. Oh, there's one of my hairs in there. Okay. Now we're going to get the stocking off. Carefully, because there's already oil in there. Put the gloves on. These are gloves that I have been using to clean my walnuts. And now we just squeeze that oil out of there. Might want to get that lavender in there a little deeper. That's a lot of lavender. And a lot of lavender oil. Now, that needs to be sifted again, because there's still some seeds in there. I'm going to leave this for a bit. Now what I'm going to do with the lavender oil that still has seeds in them, I'm just going to get those out with my fork. I'm not going to sift it again. And it's okay if one or two stay in there when you make your oil, because that just shows you that you really used lavender to make that oil. I think it's pretty clean right now. There's some on the bottom, but that's okay, they're gonna stay down. If you slowly pour it in here, and some might still get in there, but hey, it's real lavender oil. And you're making a mess, but that's okay. Okay, well, that runs over, so that's filled up. And then I'm just going to clean that up, and you might say, well, that's a waste of all that lavender oil. But I don't think so. I just want to make sure that that's completely filled up. And I got some little bottles that I can also fill up. And those are these little bottles. They have all been sterilized. And what I do is basically I use this one to fill those bottles up. And then when I'm done with filling these bottles up, these little bottles, I can pour the rest in there. Now I'm going to fill that up again. I'm going to try to squeeze the lavender one more time. And I think I pretty much got all of it. And then we put the dispenser on top of there again. And well, that's how I make my lavender oil. It's a mess, I know. So I'm going to clean up now. I hope you enjoyed the video. Tell me what you think, and if you're up to making your own lavender oil. Bye guys, thanks for watching.